and they're investing in stocks and bonds and maybe real estate investment trusts, REITs, but they often get very correlated and then nothing works. But there is another asset class that most people know nothing about called private equity, private credit, and private real estate. And if you go to the Fortune 400 and say, what most billionaires in the world, what industry? Tech? No. Real estate? No. Financial services yet, but it's not hedge funds that go up and down. It's these guys of private equity. They're the kings of the financial world. It's mind-boggling. And one of the reasons is they go out, right now, there used to be 8,000 companies you can invest in the stock market. There's only 3,700 now. They've dropped. If you, the S&P 500 people are familiar with, 24% of that is 5 companies. It's all concentrated in a small place. Not a lot of ways to be uncorrelated. So these guys go out and buy companies. In the old days, they try to leverage them, but now they actually do something cool. They find a better CEO, they find better marketing, they put better technology in, they put in AI. They build a company up, they buy it, build it up, and they sell it. And they have time. Because when you invest with them, your money's tied up for about 5 years, and most of them, they have a great business model. They're making 2% a year, whether they make you money or not, and 20% of the upside. Why do people invest with them? For the last 35 years, I want your audience to hear this, this is mind-boggling. Private equity around the world has outstripped every stock market in the world in its returns. So we'll take the S&P 500 that people are familiar with probably here in the US. Over the last 35 years, it's produced 9.2% compounded on average a year. That's amazing. If you're getting 5%, your money's gonna double every 14 years. When you're at 9%, it only takes 8 years to double your money. But private equity, average private equity did 14.2 for those 35 years. And what does that mean? That means you're compounding 50% faster. So I wrote this book because I want to answer the question, how could people get bigger? How can they get to their goals faster with less risk? And I know the people in the world that do it. So I started interviewing 13 of the biggest guys in the world, running $100 billion funds who have produced 20% or more compounded, not 14.2. Here's the last part, I don't throw all the numbers at you, just so you get the picture for everyone at home. If you put $1 million 35 years ago in the stock market, S&P, at 9.2%, that's worth $26 million today if you never did a thing with it. If you put it in the same private equity at 14.2, it's $139 million for the same time and the same amount of money. So that's why when you go to wealthy people, remember I said asset allocation, the latest studies show ultra high net worth people have 46% of the money in private assets, private equity, private credit.